Hi rates, welcome back. So we're doing part 2 of our index laws exercises. So there's only 2 exercises on this little topic, so you're going to have a little small test on this after this exercise. So make sure you understand it and you do it pretty well. So copy down the notes, everyone. Alrighty. Okay, so hopefully you remember the last lesson on index laws. Remember when you're multiplying 2 different terms with the same base, you add the powers. When you're dividing with the same base, you subtract the powers. That's all we learned so far. Alright, there's a couple of new concepts today. So the first thing I want to talk about is anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. And that's just a rule you have to remember. So, for instance, watch this everyone. A to the power of 0. The rule is anything to the power of 0 is 1. So the answer is 1. That's it. X to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. 5 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So the answer is 1. Good job so far, everyone. Alright, now the next one. 3 times a to the power of 0. So a lot of people in tests mess this one up. They say the answer is 1. But this is actually 3 times a to the power of 0. This power of 0 only is applying to the a. So this term, a to the power of 0 is 1, but it's 3 times 1. So this one is actually 3 times 1, which hopefully you know is 3. You see that everyone? Don't be tricked in a test on that one. And the last one, 4x. Now that's in brackets, and the whole brackets is to the power of 0. So everything's to the power of 0, so in this case the answer is 1. Excellent. But don't get tricked on that second last one. A lot of people do. Now, that's the first concept for today. Now the next one says a power of a power can be simplified, and you just multiply the powers or indices together. So for instance, x to the power of 4, now that whole thing, that is cubed. So remember what cube means. You times this by itself 3 times. So x to the power of 4 times x to the power of 4 times x to the power of 4. Now from our first rule, when you're multiplying with the same base, you add the powers together. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. So the answer is x to the power of 12. But there's a shortcut rule for that. If you notice, we can just multiply those 2 powers. That's what it says. The power of a power can be simplified by multiplying. So 4 times 3 is 12. So if you can remember this shortcut rule, feel free to use it. So remember, multiply the 2 powers. But there's one thing to remember. In the next one, there are 2 separate terms, I suppose. There's a pronumeral there, a to the power of 3, and there's a number there. Both of these are subject to this power of 4. So you have to make both of them to the power of 4. So this one becomes 2 to the power of 4, and this one is a cubed times, so 3 times 4 is 12. So that one's a to the power of 12. Does that make sense, everybody? This 4 applies to the 2, and it also applies to that a term. So you have to do it to both. And then if you want to simplify, instead of leaving it in index form, you leave it like that. But to simplify that fully, 2 to the power of 4 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 4, 8, that's 16 is the answer. So 16, a to the power of 12. So that's in fully simplified form. Alright, and I said there, each number or pronumeral inside the brackets is made to the power, is affected by the power outside the brackets. And I've just explained how to do that one. Alright, that's it for today. So I'm just going to do some examples for you, or with you. So let's start. 10 to the power of 0 plus 5 to the power of 0. Remember, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that's 1 plus 5 to the power of 0 is 1. Hopefully you know 1 plus 1 is 2. Good job. So that's the answer for that one. Let's do the next one. It doesn't really matter what's inside the brackets. Don't get too caught up in that, because the whole brackets is to the power of 0. So this whole term, that whole thing there is 1, because the whole thing's to the power of 0. And then we've got a plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Alright, let's do the next one. This one that people generally get confused on. We've got 4 times x to the power of 0. So in this first term, only x to the power of 0, this bit here is equal to 1. So 4 times 1 is 4. Can everyone see how I've got that? 4 times 1 is 4. Excellent. Now let's move on to the next bit. The a, nothing's happening to the a, nothing's happening to the x, and the y to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So that's just 8x times 1, which is 8x. So that's our answer so far. We can simplify it. 4 8s are 32. 32, and we've got an x there. 32x is our answer. So do it step by step, and you won't make a mistake. Excellent. Let's move up here, and we'll do some more questions. Alright, power of a power. 2, so we've got 2 cubed, and it's to the power of 5. 3 times 5 is 15, so we've got 2 to the power of 15. We've left it as a basic numeral. If it said expanded, or, sorry, that's in index form. If it wanted it as a basic numeral, you'd use a calculator for that one. You type in 2 to the power of 15, and you get a really big number. I'm going to leave it like that. Alright, next one. Remember that 2 affects both of these separate things. So it's 5 squared, and then it's times by, and that would be x to the power of 6. And I know how to simplify that. 5 squared is 25, so 25, and it's x to the power of 6. So I'll leave it like that. Good job. Next one, we do it step by step. That would be a to the power of 2 times 4, which is 8, times by. Now remember the 7 is squared, so 7 squared. If you know that's 49 straight away, just write it in. And this one here is a to the power of 6. Now we have to simplify. I generally like going down the page, so I'll just do it here. So we've got 7 squared is 49, and a to the power of 8 times a to the power of 6. Remember, you add the powers together, and you get a to the power of 14. And we're done. Let's do the last one. I'm going to go down the page. I find it a little bit less confusing. So that's a to the power of 12 times by 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. I'm going to write that in straight away. Times by, and that would be a to the power of 10. So now when we simplify this whole expression, we've got 16. That's our normal number. A to the power of 12 times a to the power of 10, which is a to the power of 22. That's it. So I know it might be a bit overwhelming at the start. All I want you to do is practice it. Start off with the easy questions, and then they progressively get harder like this. And then if you can get your head around these concepts, then you're all good for the index laws for year 8. Good job. Here's a work for you. 5K, I want you to do 1 to 9 all, because it's a new concept. Then you can do the chapter review questions just from these 2 exercises on index laws, and then we'll have a small test on that. So hopefully I'll see you all soon. See you guys.